Welcome back to Wheel Adventurers, and here today once again we're diving into the world of small bore adventure bikes, a class that really is heating up at the moment, and there's some great options on offer for us riders. Now today's contender is from BMW with their Concept F450 GS. Now BMW released this bike late last year at EICMA, and it definitely grabbed the attention of a lot of people, including myself. I think the bike looks really cool at first glance, but let's dive in a little bit deeper, see what information we do have from BMW on this bike and see how it's going to perform in the world of adventure and just see where it's going to sit in the small bore adventure bike market. Now currently the information we have on this bike is very limited, but we do know from BMW that this bike will be a 450cc parallel twin engine, putting out 47 horsepower and with a reported weight of somewhere around 175 kilograms. Now assuming this reported weight is a wet weight, when you compare this to something like the Royal Enfield Himalayan 450, the BMW should be around 20 kilograms lighter and have a few extra horses to play with as well. So it should have a very playful feel overall when compared to some of the other bikes in the small bore adventure bike scene. Now I'm sure BMW could have went and made this bike a little bit lighter or even added a few more horsepower on there as well, but just like a bunch of the other brands trying to get into the small bore adventure bike scene, they're limited with what they can do with these bikes if they want the bike to fit under Europe's A2 licensing, or LAMS as we call it here in Australia, just to make sure these bikes are going to be okay for beginners to jump onto and head out onto the trail. So I can't wait to test this bike out and see how it feels and just see if it's a bit more playful than some of the other ones out on the market at the moment. Now BMW are known for their high-tech features throughout their GS range, so I'm expecting more of the same with this 450 version. Just looking at images and video footage, we can see this nice clean cockpit setup with a 6.5-inch TFT dash up front, and BMW says that the bike will also be running its cornering ABS Pro system, which we see on some of their other models. As for the suspension, it will have a fully adjustable setup on the upside down forks and the rear shock as well, and I'll be really interested to see if they tie in some of their suspension tech from their flagship GS models and if that flows down into this smaller 450 version, or if price point becomes too important and they can't do that on this bike. So we'll wait and see what happens there. Also looking in the images, you can see some Brembo brakes are also visible, so stopping power should be great on this bike. So for someone like myself that really loves to chuck some soft luggage on the bike and just head away for a few days, I really like the look of the subframe here that we can see in some of these images. You can see the subframe poking out the side of the side panels on the bike. So I'm hoping that my soft luggage will just rest straight on the subframe there, give it something to sit onto and not scuff the side panels up too much. And also in the case of dropping the bike, should that happen or when it happens, hopefully they'll help protect the bike when you drop it, help protect the exhaust from getting all bent up, and protect those side panels as well from getting too much damage. And also the Akrapovic exhaust is a nice feature. It looks really cool and I'm sure it's going to sound amazing. Will it stay in the production version though? Only time will tell on that. Now BMW have stated they want to keep the production model as close to this concept as possible. The only mention of change that we've had seems to be around the spoked wheels that we see here. They may be swapped out for some high strength cast aluminium instead. Personally, I'd be pretty disappointed if BMW took the spoked wheels off on the production version. I think they really set the look of this bike off, so I really hope BMW leave those as they are. Now while we're on the subject of tyres, the tyre size that's set to come on this bike is stated as a 19-inch front and a 17-inch rear. Obviously someone like myself would love to see something a little bit different. I'd probably prefer to see a 21-inch front and an 18-inch rear. Having the larger front is always better when you're off-road. Gives you the ability to roll over things a lot easier. Do I think that'll change in the production version? No, I'd say it'll come with the 19 and the 17 that BMW want. Maybe they're just looking for more of an on-road performance from those tyres rather than just the off-road stuff. Now, as I said before, information on this new F450 GS Concept from BMW is very limited at this stage, but going off what we've got here in front of us, it does look like a pretty cool offering from BMW, and I think it'll sit nicely in the small bore adventure bike class. Now I do expect to see some more information released from BMW before this bike is here available to be bought, but my main questions around the bike at this stage are its fuel tank size and its fuel range. I just want to know how many litres we're going to be able to get on board and how far that will get us. It's a very important one here in Australia, especially if you want to travel the outback. You need a good fuel range. And then lastly, of course, is the all-important price. Where will it fit in the market? Being a BMW, I do expect its price to be considerably higher than its competitors. Bikes like the Royal Enfield Himalayan 450 and the CF Moto 450 MT. I don't think BMW will be looking to take the market by storm with a cheap option. I think most of us relate BMW to quality, So I think BMW can afford to have their price a little bit higher when compared to some of those other bikes that I just mentioned. Most people look at BMW and think of quality, so I think they'll be willing to pay just a little bit more for that quality, and I think it's going to have a lot of great tech options that some other bikes may not have. I think the BMW F450 GS will be suited for those riders who are just wanting to downsize from their larger adventure bikes, whether that's a GS already or maybe a different brand, but just jump onto something that's a bit more manageable off-road, but still offer some decent comfort on-road. I don't see this bike being a beginner bike just because how high I think the price will be when compared to some other options out there, but we'll wait and see what the price is when the bike's released. So the latest information here in Australia around this bike from BMW is that we may see it towards the end of 2025. Whether that means it'll be on the showroom floors ready to purchase, or it just means a production model will be there for us to see, so we'll know what we're actually getting with the bike. I'm not quite sure yet, we'll have to wait and see on that one, but me personally, I'm really excited to see this bike in person. I love the look of it in all these images and videos that we've got online at the moment, so I can't wait to see it in person. And I'd absolutely love to be able to get on one, go for a ride and see how it goes. I'm just going to be very optimistic and keep all my fingers and toes crossed that BMW keep this production version very close to the concept. Nothing worse than seeing a concept bike that looks as cool as this, and then when you see the production version, it looks nothing like it. So fingers crossed it looks just the way it does at the moment, and I think it'll be a pretty cool bike. But that's enough from me here. Time to throw it back to all of you two-wheel adventurers. Let me know down in the comments below what you think of BMW's Concept F450 GS. Do you like the look of it as much as I do? Do you want to see anything change in the production version? Let me know all your thoughts down below in the comments. I love reading all of them. But thanks so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like the video before you go. It really does help the channel out. And subscribe to the channel as well. I'd love for you to stick around to see future videos just like this one. And be sure to check all the links down below in the video's description if you want to help support the channel or support any of my partners as well. Be sure to ride safe out there on your own two-wheel adventures. I'll see you all soon.